I remember a time when there was a clear distinction between TV shows and films. A time when films could only be seen at the cinema, and going to see them was a special event, unrivaled by the small square screen of the bulky television set. But things have changed over the years, and the line between TV and movies has blurred, and it's now possible for a TV show to appear just as cinematic as what's shown on the silver screen. And instead of isolated stories that reach their conclusion in an hour or less, episodes of TV shows now resemble parts of a larger story, meaning audiences are required to invest more hours to experience what probably could have been condensed into a 2-hour film. Therefore, in order to fill up a season of TV, studios have to stretch their budgets, cut corners, and make creative decisions to hide the fact that, although on the surface the thing we're watching resembles a movie, it's still really just a TV show. Now we're only 2 episodes into Ahsoka, the new Star Wars television series, but it's already proved itself to be a perfect example of this phenomenon, featuring an explosive introduction intended to make audiences believe they're watching a Star Wars film. But with no other scene equaling that level of spectacle, we are presented with a setting that is at odds with the cinematic world we're familiar with. At first glance, everything appears the same, but on closer examination, we discover something is missing. The world feels empty, like logging into an online multiplayer game nobody plays anymore, populated only by bots, with drawn-out scenes where characters take long pauses between sentences, and the actors move around the sets at a snail's pace. And one begins to question whether all this emptiness and dead air is nothing more than a budget-squeezing, time-filling strategy to hide the fact that, although there may be enough story here for a 2-hour film, it's being stretched out to fill 8 hours of a TV series. So without further ado, let's meander our X-Wings to light speed and shuffle our way towards a galaxy that's so very, very far away. So things get off to a bad start when the LucasArts logo fades, and instead of the traditional Star Wars fanfare, bland dramatic music plays instead, and the classic yellow slanted text scroll that spans far into infinity is gone, replaced with red text that merely slides vertically on a 2D plane. I've got a bad feeling about this. The evil empire has fallen, but a lost Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn could start another war. A former Jedi called Ahsoka Tano has captured Thrawn's ally, Morgan Elsbeth, and learned about a secret map. Oh no, not another Star Wars story about a missing person and following maps. I've never seen that before. We're then introduced to the crew of the ship that's transporting Morgan Elsbeth, who are waiting to hand her over to another ship for her trial. But a different ship arrives instead, claiming to be Jedi who want to see her. The captain suspects they're lying, so decides to call their bluff in a brilliant and cunning plan that involves lowering the shields and inviting them on board. But his plan backfires when the Jedi turn out to be 2 red lightsaber-wielding bad guys called Balin and Shin, who kill everyone and rescue Morgan. We then meet Ahsoka at an abandoned temple where she enters an Indiana Jones-style tomb involving a thrilling 10-minute sequence where she very slowly completes a puzzle from a Legend of Zelda dungeon in order to gain access to a thermal detonator. I mean a secret map. But outside, evil droids are waiting for her, and without any expression of emotion, she kills them, but not before they activate timers for their nuclear bomb-style self-destruct mechanisms. Why didn't they just self-destruct straight away instead of giving her a 60-second head start? I'm afraid I don't know. But she's rescued just in time by her robot, Hu Yang, played by David Tennant, and they meet up with General Syndulla, a green-skinned female pilot who informs Ahsoka about the escaped prisoner. We then go to a planet where a man is giving a speech to a CGI crowd that doesn't seem to react, even when sounds of applause are heard on the soundtrack. Talking about the heroic efforts of Commander Ezra Bridger, a rebel pilot who died saving the planet from the Imperials. And standing behind him is a mural from a Japanese anime show for some reason. He then introduces Commander Sabine Wren, another rebel leader, who was there 2 minutes ago but has suddenly gone missing. We cut to Sabine and find her driving across a completely empty highway on her speeder as ships arrive to take her back to the ceremony. But she tells them she thinks she left the oven on and can't stop, and she drives back to her home inside a cell tower where she lives alone with her cat. Ahsoka was once Sabine's Jedi Master, we learn, before she abandoned her training, and she arrives at the planet and asks Sabine to help her unlock the map. But when Ahsoka goes to the toilet, Sabine flies back home again, taking the map with her. Sabine jumps onto holographic Google and immediately finds the right pattern to rearrange the Rubik's Sphere and unlock the map. Why couldn't Ahsoka have done that herself, or just asked her robot to try every combination? Well, I don't know. Then Shin arrives with some droids to steal the map from Sabine, and she sticks her lightsaber right through Sabine's body, killing her instantly. And that's literally all that happens in episode 1. We begin episode 2 with Sabine waking up in hospital, having made a full recovery after her internal organs were vaporized by the lightsaber, and she informs Ahsoka that she unlocked the map, but it was stolen before she could decipher it. Shin then meets Balin with the map at an evil Stonehenge by the sea, where the stones resemble the Tower of the Eye of Sauron. Ahsoka goes to Sabine's cell tower to slowly wander around and look for clues, and discovers one of the droids is still there for some reason, which was very lucky, as this allows Sabine to open it and find out where its planet of manufacture was, a planet called Corellia, which will surely lead them to the evil Jedis. A bit like how the words "made in China" on a knife used to murder someone must mean the murderer lives in China. Back at evil Stonehenge by the sea, the evil Jedi meet up and activate the star map, showing them the location of where Thrawn is. The Eye of Sauron, Sion, is on its way here, Morgan Elsbeth says. Ahsoka and Cinderella then go to Corellia and meet Min Weaver, the regional supervisor of an Imperial factory, one of the most exciting characters in all of Star Wars, who tells them that although Corellia was an Imperial factory, they now all work for the Republic. Syndulla starts asking questions, but he tells her the answers are classified, and she starts throwing her weight around because she's a general, because obviously nothing could possibly be classified to a general. Ahsoka asks if they have any assassin droids, and a female C-3PO says yes, she saw one the other day, and it just so happens to be leaving on that very starship right now they can see taking off through the window. What a bloody coincidence! Syndulla orders them to stop the ship before a random guy jumps out of his chair, shouting "For the Empire!" and pulls out his blaster, so Ahsoka kills him. Perhaps wait until after shooting them before shouting that next time, sir. Ahsoka then jumps through the window and runs very slowly after the ship, but finds a new red lightsaber-wielding foe waiting for her. Syndulla flies after the escaping ship, but another Imperial ship arrives just in time to rescue the new evil Jedi, and both ships escape, but not before Syndulla lands a tracking device on the first ship. Sabine finally decides to get out of her bed, cuts her hair to make her look like a boy, and gets dressed, and the three women meet and prepare prepare for their journey to follow the ship. And that's literally all that happens in episode 2. My God, that was exciting, wasn't it? Obviously, we don't know how things will play out as the series continues, but so far Ahsoka seems to be nothing more than a long, drawn-out fetch quest involving a MacGuffin to find a missing person, revolving around a monotonous pattern of look for the thing, get the thing, bad guys take the thing, follow the clues to re-find the thing, etc., etc., where very little else happens as the characters stand around filling time and saying nothing of substance. None of the characters are compelling, and the actresses playing the 3 leads seem completely lifeless and devoid of emotion, with a script that feels so wooden and devoid of passion that I'm sure it was written by ChatGPT. Ahsoka has all the charisma of a paper bag, with the exact same emotionless look on her face in every scene, standing there with her arms crossed, probably because the actress didn't know what else to do with them. Sabine is portrayed as being a badass rebel without a cause, but just comes off as an ungrateful and irresponsible bitch. Syndulla seems to be the most pointless of all of them, merely resembling a girl boss who loves throwing her weight around and somehow manages to dodge every laser from the ship she's chasing, even at point-blank range. Even David Tennant's robot is a bore, unlike C-3PO, who kept us entertained with his prissy anal retentiveness. Hu Yang resembles nothing more than the personification of a scientific calculator. There doesn't seem to be an ounce of emotion shared between the main cast, who all act so cold and reserved, with no laughter, signs of joy, or any fun. Which of these non-entities are we supposed to root for? They're all so boring. Remember Han Solo, Luke, Leia, Darth Vader? Where has all the fun of Star Wars gone? And why are there no men in the main cast? And why is every male character either old, ugly, short or bald? I suppose we'll just have to wait and see how the series plays out. But so far, Ahsoka seems to have achieved far less in 2 hours than even the worst of the prequel films. Things could improve, but so far, Ahsoka is off to a slow and serious start, and I long for the days when Star Wars was fun and snappy and could only be experienced in the cinema.